Hey guys,
Morning, everybody.
Joe here.
Kevin.
All right, so today, Jennifer E., you picked the movie Dear Zachary, which I believe you asked us to go in very blind for this.
Yes, it was in the request in the email. We do anyway, but just to reassure you, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah.
I will say this. When I put the list of movies up that we had coming up on Patreon, a lot of people were like, oh.
Really?
I think this one is going to be pretty rough.
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't know how or why, because I don't know what this is.
Rough like
I think
sad or Predator 2 rough? You know what I mean?
I think emotionally rough.
Okay, good.
Again, I don't know anything about it. The title sounds sad already, Dear Zachary. You know, it sounds like a breakup letter.
Yeah.
But I don't know what.
Yeah. We were going to do something else today, by the way. I will email the person whose movie we're going to do. It was unavailable. The title was unavailable.
Completely unavailable in the United
country.
States. So that's why Dear Zachary is actually earlier than we had anticipated, because we're just moving on to the next movie.
But I will reach out today and we'll get it fixed for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So sorry, Jonathan.
Yep.
But Jennifer, Dear Zachary, should I have grabbed Kleenex?
I got a couple over here if you want.
You know what? I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Talk to our friends at home.
Hi.
Tell them what's up.
Well, Dear Zachary. Okay, so I'm going to try to guess. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not going to try to guess about this one. I think that this is going to be. If it's sad, I'm really over here just trying to guess what this is about. I don't know, man. I mean, it sounds like a letter. I sound so stupid right now. I don't know. Thank you for coming back.
That was Joe vamping.
That's me vamping. Yeah. Improv. I watched Game of Thrones yesterday. There was a great cameo.
Right. Yeah. So sorry. I don't know anything about this other than some people said whoever made us watch this is brutal. Jennifer.
Okay. Well,
let's jump into it.
Let's just do it. Yeah.
Do want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers for being over this and give a special thank you to all of our super patrons. AB, Actuarial Lurker, Ballers Foldes, Derek Peterson, Devin Garneau, MTC93, Jamie Morgan, Jeff, Jojo Potato, Natasha Norris, MJ, Sudagunda Varapu, Trey Contreras, WearPanda47, Wolfgang Wolf, Yannick from Montreal, Torgeir Linkstad, Matthew Jones Carter, and welcome Lindsay Swift. Really glad you're here with us, guys.
Yes, we are. And if you're watching us for the first time on YouTube, welcome to our channel. If you mind hitting the like button for us, please leave us a comment down below and hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we've coming your way.
In the description below, you'll see a link to our Patreon page for full-length watch-alongs. We are way ahead of Patreon of where we're on YouTube, but you're going to have to stick and watch along on your own source material due to copyright law, which means we have to be able to find it too.
Yeah. Yes, that would help.
Okay, so with MSNBC, this might be a documentary.
Okay. Your father was
charismatic,
opinionated. I'd have to point out he was short,
but he was a giant of a man.
he was a hell of a guy.
He was just so intelligent and crying.
I'm an empathetic crier by nature.
Same.
I'm sad. Oh, I'll tell you about it someday.
Oh my God.
You know who Andrew is?
I don't know. Why did Andrew get killed?
Because somebody hurt him, buddy.
I'm an only child.
Oh, man.
And I'll get around to why this is of any importance whatsoever.
Calls back and says, Kate, there's a policeman from Sunnyvale on the line for you. Do you want to talk to him? And you're to call this number. It's the coroner's office. You've got bad news.
Oh my God.
And he said, your son is dead under suspicious circumstances. Have you got any idea why he was in the park?
Can you imagine getting that news on the phone?
It'd be awful.
Yeah.
And then I called David. Andrew's dead. And he said no.
We'd go get Andrew and bring him back to California and get everything organized, whatever, and then ourselves. Cause
oh my God.
I was walking home.
It was Tuesday morning. I was
doing something. I was in the living room.
The editing is crazy.
Yeah.
It's
such
many
big
people.
impact on so many people.
Yeah.
And he was an only child, so the parents lost their only kid.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, it's Heather. It's about 9:15.
At 3:41 p.m., I called her back.
Nobody said this person, this wonderful person, was hurt.
My name's Kurt, and I'm a filmmaker.
I'm Kurt Kenny, and I play Indiana Jones.
He appeared in every movie I made growing up. He loved playing bad guys.
Shut up!
And eventually, I even got them in on the act.
Son of a... You little...
You are a pain in the ass.
I want to watch these movies.
Yeah.
And I know I drove him nuts sometimes.
Could you do that one more time?
one more time. Okay, one more time. If I hear him say one more time, I'm going to wring his neck.
He always supported me.
Kurt, another winner.
He even invested in my first feature film while he was working to save for medical school.
Wow.
Yeah.
One of the major things that Andrew and I did together, though, was photography.
I had no idea he took pictures. I've known him for 22 years. So I decided to make this movie, to travel far and wide, to interview everyone who ever knew and loved him, to learn everything there was to know, and to make one last movie with him.
I had a couple gallons of water. I took a gallon of water and I poured it on there, put out the fire.
The man never wore pants. He only wore shorts.
It's a great reveal.
Yeah.
When we first met him, he had this thing with his fingernails. Oh yeah, he'd bite them.
God, the number of people that really love this guy. This is so sad.
So sad.
We would sit and discuss a topic.
So many different kinds of people,
Yeah.
too.
Venereal disease.
Mom is a nurse practitioner. I'm impressed. This guy gave me a call from the Department of Forestry and he said, well, I've gone to bat for you and it's going to be $300. And some lady again from the Department of Forestry saying, why did you send us a $300 check?
On the land of California, Andrew Bagby came. He came to Newfoundland, set the wilderness aflame.
It's $150. I said, all right, tear up the check. I'll send you $150. So if you want to burn down Bay Roberts, it's $150.
But before we go any further, you've got to know what happened.
Okay.
So here it is.
A couple of policemen met us at the airport in Pittsburgh. Gurney at the other end.
Oh, my
white sheet
God.
over a body. I said, it's really him.
Oh.
Kate kissed him and held him, and a plug came out where he'd been shot in the...
Oh, my God.
After that, I lost it, and I just ran outside and screamed. I was so mad.
Who hurt him?
A very bad person.
A lady?
Mm-hmm.
What's her name?
Shirley.
It makes me sick to my stomach now, but I was so excited that he was dating somebody.
Come on, Shirley.
Okay, so he'd broken up with his fiancée
Yeah.
before this. Okay.
I was excited at the thought that maybe he had found somebody that he, could really be happy with.
Oh, my goodness. This is awful.
Did you know her?
Yeah.
So his new girlfriend killed him?
I guess so.
I'm 40 and he's 28.
Shirley's got 3 kids. Woo!
A person like that isn't just like completely normal and then one day they become psycho, you know. I mean, there had to be some signs.
She was always making kind of sexually inappropriate comments.
But never threatening.
Someone never is until they are.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
yeah. This rub you the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know, whatever happened with their breakup really kind of devastated him and just left him vulnerable to someone like Shirley.
It's like a rebound with a terrible person.
Yeah.
You don't need to go out with a woman because you can't think you can do better.
Sure. Yeah. Situationship.
Yeah.
Shirley also decided to move to the States to practice.
You're in Omaha, right? Actually, no. I'm in Council Bluffs.
And the fact that there was this somebody that was making a lot of effort to maintain a relationship with him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she was kind of a life raft.
Yeah.
And switched to a family practice residency in Latrobe, Pennsylvania in July of 2001.
Did she move to the States for him?
It's so weird because she was so far away still.
And he now wanted her to go away.
He did not invite her. She left 30 some odd messages.
Whoa.
We are very close.
I understand.
He had broken up with her a month before in his mind.
He didn't know how to be a son of a bitch because he wasn't a son of a bitch.
Shirley
Nice guy.
had
Yeah.
been really like all over Andrew.
Oh my God.
This is creepy.
On the afternoon of Saturday, November 3rd, 2001, he broke up with Shirley once and for all. Then he put her on a plane back to her place in Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Okay.
That's weird, right?
It's so weird.
He said, you'll never guess who showed up on my doorstep. I said, they knock on my front door. I'm going out the back door, and I'm calling the police.
Yeah, that might be
Yeah.
restraining order time at that point.
Yeah, for sure.
I said, do not meet her in private. He said, what can happen?
Oh my God, man.
7:30, I'll be at your house. And you know what? When Andrew didn't show up at 7:30, I knew something was very wrong.
Oh my gosh. On the phone to cops.
Yeah.
Let's see where you're at. I'm going to stop by your house here in about 5 minutes and meet you just out the door.
Oh my God. That's a good friend.
It's a great friend.
They found a body in Scrubs out at Keystone Park.
Dead silence fell over.
She said to me, they need you in Mr. Clark's office right now.
Oh my God.
It's like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Cleared his throat.
He just walked right up to the podium and he said,
Andrew Bagby is dead.
And I said, well, you don't have to look far.
Yeah.
I said, find her, and I think you'll find who did this.
Are you sure that she's with his dad?
And none of that happened. God, that is frustrating.
So frustrating.
He was shot 5 times. In the face, the chest, twice in the buttocks, and in the back of the head.
Good God.
The ammunition
Yeah.
used was CCI 22 caliber bullets.
I'm interested in the gun. And you just bought the gun, right? Not too long ago?
Yeah.
They should be at her door with handcuffs.
Immediately, yeah.
She was using CCI 22 caliber ammunition.
It's either in my closet or my bedroom in the car.
Then she said, I gave the gun to Andrew.
Terrible alibi.
But while she claims to be home in bed, she's making cell phone calls from Chicago, Illinois.
She doesn't know how cell phone towers work.
Nope.
She logged onto eBay that morning from his computer at his house.
What?
That night, she makes another call from Cleveland, Ohio, clearly on her way home this time.
What a disturbed person.
Yeah. I hope this story ends with her in prison forever.
Me freaking too.
Talk to you in the past couple of days. Love you. Bye.
Oh, that's...
She thought that was going to cover it, going home and leaving a message.
You know, I've tried to be as honest as I can remember.
Oh my God, this is sociopath.
Truly. Truly.
While the police were uncovering this crucial piece of evidence, Shirley left the United States for her home in St. John's, Newfoundland.
She should have been in jail day one.
Yeah. That's suspicion enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Memorials in Newfoundland to California to England
To St. Louis.
to Latrobe.
So proud to say that I love him. All of us,
dang it.
just to name a few, Michelle, Chris, Matt, we are your children. We still do have children.
Oh my God.
I love that sentiment, but it's so brutal, man.
Got an email from Shirley, a horrible scathing email. It was all basically I was nothing and she was everything.
So finally, she was charged. She was arrested in St. John's, Newfoundland on December
Okay,
12,
good.
2001. Crown prosecutor Mike Madden did not even argue against her release on bail and instead entered the courtroom with an agreement already in place for her release.
Why? For murder?
Yeah.
Posts $75,000 in sureties. $65,000 of this was posted by her personal psychiatrist, but I'll come back to him.
Please do.
Yeah.
The government of Canada let a probable premeditated first-degree murderer walk the streets.
Oh, Canada. I'm usually on your side, but...
I am too.
Who the hell is the system protecting?
I could not believe this was happening.
Held a press conference and announced that she's 4 months pregnant with Andrew's baby.
Oh my God.
They can't prove it until the child's born.
It was no longer just my search for what was left of your
Ah,
dad. It might be the only way you could one day go back in time, see, and get to know him.
What was it? Is the kid at the beginning
guess-
his son,
I
and
guess
it
kid
didn't
had
work?
blonde hair.
I hope so.
I grabbed a digital video camera, a 16mm wind-up movie camera.
Man, if I was in that kid's family, I'd be half inclined to just throw this black bagger and drag her back myself.
That's what I'm saying.
Your grandma and grandpa quit their jobs, dug into their savings, and gave up everything to move to Newfoundland to fight for your future.
Our lawyer, Jackie, went to see Betty Day, an administrator, is somewhere in the hierarchy of Child Protective Services.
When your grandma and grandpa first arrived in Canada, they were told the law is slow. And while they waited for justice and for you to arrive, your grandma and grandpa made a new home and new friends.
But here at St. Michael's, yeah, they got right in there and got right involved.
Basically, they have more friends in Newfoundland now than we do.
Well,
it's very small mountains. The weather here is terrible. The weather is awful.
I was hoping you would ask me about Kate and David, who are very
young at heart.
I was going to come here, for the 2 years, and I was going on to Australia for 2 years, work my way around the world.
I was in the Navy, stationed on an aircraft carrier, the Hornet, in Long Beach, California. English nurse. I took the little one and left him with the tall one. They didn't work out so well, but we did. We went out 13 times in the first 2 weeks.
Coming to St. Louis and sleeping in my mother's bedroom seemed to make people pregnant.
Things people should know about Andrew. He was never late.
That's a good cutback. Oh my goodness.
On July 18th, 2002, you were born. Shirley named you Zachary Andrew Turner. Your grandma and grandpa came to the hospital to see you, but Shirley wouldn't let them in the door.
Is there anything you'd like to say to Zachary?
Well, your dad was an amazing person.
Your dad crossed the Atlantic to come here almost every summer. He'd head to the outskirts to spend time with his grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins, and in particular, with his cousin John.
The main thing, I guess, about being an only child is that I get to choose.
We often said at least they would have each other through life.
The fact that I knew he was going to get Star Wars, kind of 6 months before me, that was a killer. Bizarrely enough, one of the things is I always wanted Andrew to be my best man at my wedding.
I'd always wanted him to be my best man.
I'd asked him to be my best man. It just made sense to have him as best man.
I can only assume that you would have asked him to be your best man.
I miss him a lot. I wish he was here at the wedding with us. Just have him there with us.
Kind of need to move on from that because, like I said, I'm a Bagby male. We don't gush very much.
Is there anything you'd like to say to Zachary?
Zachary. Yeah, I hope to see you soon, Zachary, anyway.
I hope so. I really do.
And what access they got with Shirley, they negotiated.
We're coming up with agreements with this accused murderer, but then she finally agreed to give us 1 hour a week.
What the hell is wrong with this family court?
Yeah, seriously.
She required that during their 1 hour visit they be fully searched and monitored by a supervisor while she waited in the next room.
I want to see that one more time. That was perfect.
We did not do complete tug of war about it.
It'd be so emotional. How did you even handle that?
And his eyes just kind of look at me, and that's when I said to David, "Oh my God, he's Andrew."
It looks a lot like him, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy crow, you know, there's no doubt.
We wanted more time.
While your grandparents and Jackie battled Shirley for more time with you in family court, the law in the extradition proceedings was still slow. Because the authority to proceed with these hearings provided by the Minister of Justice early that year had failed to specify subsections 1 or 2, all extradition proceedings against Shirley should be dropped so she could get on with her life.
Are you kidding me?
If this ends with her being free in Canada with the kid, I'm going to be very upset.
I'm going to be so upset.
Andrew and Bob were very, very close.
Bob used to take Andrew out and let him drive the truck before he was old enough.
Yeah.
They played pool.
And my dad was very good at pool.
Well, I would say he was excellent, but he wasn't as good as me. He probably still owes me around $30,000. Automatically my little brother. That's the way I looked at it.
It's everybody's story.
Yeah.
He used to love to come down here. I said, if you're smart, you'd be a guy in college.
That took me a second.
I did it to you.
I mean, I can come down here anytime I want. I just don't have time anymore, really. Well, I lost total interest in a lot of things when Bob died for some reason. Imagine him and Andrew are laughing at me right now. Those assholes.
We okay. Come give me a hug, that made me feel better.
Is there anything you'd like to say to Zachary about his dad?
He was great.
Because that's probably not Zachary.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Zachary, you'll never know what you missed.
On November 14th, 2002, Judge Derek Green declared that a properly instructed jury could likely find Shirley guilty. Suddenly, Shirley turned around and gave your grandma and grandpa custody of you for as long as she was in prison.
If there's people in this church that don't know the five of us, it looks like we're the parents and Zachary is our child. We look like terrible parents.
They were so happy.
But it wasn't all sweetness and light.
We accept a phone call a day from jail to talk about Zachary.
Are you having a good day with Grandmama and Granddad? Zachary, I love you, baby. Mommy loves you.
How would that not just piss you off?
She has other kids. You think she bothers calling all of them?
Right.
I don't know what to get Zachary. Like, if you want to say Mommy and Daddy on a frame and stick a picture of me and Andrew in it, I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Mommy with Baby. What about the one of me and Andrew? Feel all right about putting that up? Not quite yet.
No. Psycho.
Yeah.
I think the details are too touchy for us to do like this. I think our lawyers should hammer them out.
Care of them.
These two are
the
amazing
way
people.
I would be taking. He said, do you really believe they love the child? I said, yes, as much as I do.
We'd bring him up to the prison.
That'd be hard to do on the phone with her.
I hate to say this, I'd be hoping she got shivved the whole time, you know what I mean? Just
Each week they would drive 2 hours to the jail where Shirley was so that she would be able to see her son.
And in the winter.
But the weather, needless to say, in Newfoundland.
The weather here is terrible.
To make that journey was awful.
with a baby in the car, it's not safe.
If I could be a quarter of the grandma that Kate is, I'd be such a success.
When they'd have them, you know. You know, to see them so happy. That ended, didn't it?
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Your dad's door was directly across the street from the hospital, giving him a 30-second commute to work.
This is yours to take with you in your travels to remember the chief resident.
He was already, just within a couple of months, already getting patients to call and specifically ask for him.
When you think of people who have passed, you can't help but paint a rosy glow around them. It's not what's happening in this case.
Yeah, I believe that, actually.
And I wanted to say to him, "Oh, Andrew, what's the matter?" And then he got halfway into that room and he came back and kissed us again, and we went with him and he kissed us again at the door. That was the last time until we saw him dead.
I'm preparing myself to be very upset at the end of this
I am
movie
too,
about what
man.
happened
I don't
to
have
Shirley.
a great feeling.
No.
We're going to crack Andrew's last Fuller's ESB right now, and Kurt and I are going to sip it together. To Andrew, my good friend, I can't wait to see you again.
The unthinkable happened again. They let her out of jail again, and then we had to give him back.
she wrote directly to Judge Derek Green, who responded through his secretary with instructions on how to write her own appeal of his decision.
I have a few friends who are judges, and there's no way they would ever have responded.
She did, and was let back onto the streets by
Judge Gail Welsh.
How is this person a judge?
Right.
The minute that woman walked into the room, Judge Welsh, she was almost fawning with Shirley Turner.
I recognize that you're not represented, but also know that as a doctor, you're quite capable.
Are you kidding?
Wow.
I want to cuss so bad.
Right.
And Welsh actually asked an accused murderer to promise she'd behave herself.
You're an idiot!
You should not be a judge at all.
Dr. Turner's detention is not necessary in the public interest. One, it was not directed at the public at large. There is no indication of a psychological disorder that would give concern about potential harm to the public generally.
It's murder. She's a murderer.
She's a murderer.
Even if she did it, she's not a danger to the community because she's already killed the only one she wanted to kill.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's actually what she said.
So she's not likely to kill again. You have here a human being who thinks they have the right to kill other people who anger them.
And with that, the government of Canada let a probable premeditated first-degree murderer walk the streets.
That is sickening.
We agreed to a schedule of visits with like 3 or 4 hours, 3 times a week.
These people are saints. I would not want to speak to this woman.
Right.
This evolved into us actually spending a great deal of time with Shirley Turner.
You know, it's going to be a big deal to me if I don't have you to babysit.
This lady is crazy.
Yeah.
Bold as brass, coming to be in our face kind of thing.
It's just lucky we're all the same religion. I mean,
Oh my god, this woman is nuts.
say, Shirley, we're going to run out and do this. Is it okay? So that because I know you would be worried if we disappeared for a couple of days.
Dear God.
Just hold her head underwater there until her little legs stop twitching.
Mm-hmm.
Having to be with her.
I don't know if he's okay with you.
Oh my god!
You killed our son.
Nauseating.
Look, we will do what is best for Zachary.
We religiously did not talk about the case.
Yeah.
You will not let that child run out of food and diapers.
That's the price we had to pay to make sure that we had a good connection with Zachary.
Zachary has to be fed and diapered. So we will bring the stuff. Understood?
I don't know how they did it, but I know why they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, this person is vile.
The most despicable.
I'm half expecting her to run before her extradition. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, me too.
On a rainy Sunday afternoon, we met.
Hello, bud.
Look at
He looks so much like him,
He
doesn't
does,
he?
yeah.
This is your uncle.
I don't know you.
Yeah.
And you are a very cute kid, and you look exactly like Andrew.
Yeah, there's no mistaking.
Yeah.
Your father, who you'll never know, was such an amazing guy. But with a little bit of luck, you'll get to grow up with Andrew's parents.
Yeah.
They did the most amazing job. So from that perspective, you're the luckiest little boy in the world.
They love you.
And if you ever need anything, I'm not far away.
I know that we'll be there for you.
To student affairs, are you a student?
Who knows? Maybe someday you'll be applying here to the Faculty of Medicine.
He's the blessing Andrew left behind.
One of the major things that Andrew and I did together, though, or that we had in common, was photography.
I'd still love to see some of the pictures that he took through medical school. I've never seen any of them.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And I felt like that would be something also that his dad would really feel honored by.
I think I have a meeting tomorrow morning to participate in the judging tomorrow.
On July 18th, 2003, you turned 1.
I do have a complaint, finally. Oh.
Shirley decided to hold a birthday party for you at McDonald's.
When he got down, he made for me. Shirley was very, very angry. She said, he loves you more than me, why don't you take him?
Yeah!
Zachary always would choose Kate over her. Kate is a warm and loving mother.
Shirley's the devil.
Mommy loves you.
What do her other kids
right.
think of her? Like,
Mommy loves you. Mommy loves you.
She said
well, I think Mommy didn't count on a documentary.
Mommy Psycho.
Yeah.
And she said that they lived with their fathers, and she said that children were more trouble than they were worth.
The next hearing in the extradition process was set for September 25th.
2 years
Taking
later.
years.
Yeah.
Bye-bye to Uncle Kurt. Can I give him a hug?
Grab him and take it.
Is there anything you'd like to say to Zachary?
I'm hoping that I'm going to have all the opportunity to say those things to Zachary.
We had been out, we came back here, there was a little card in the door.
The next thing I saw a picture of Shirley and Zachary and saying that they were missing, and I was just screaming at the top of my lungs.
I immediately fell to the floor.
Can we cuss? Because this is bull. And
I'm so fucking bad.
They're gonna find them. They're gonna be okay.
You're overreacting. You're going to think the worst.
My heart is pounding.
Yeah.
They called us and told us that they were doing a search at a beach out in Conception Bay South. He told me that they had found a baby.
What?
Along with an adult. I knew then that there was two bodies.
We came to the door and it was Jackie and Constable Walsh.
When I think, oh my gosh, somebody...
What I saw after that I will never forget in my life.
Rage, some vicious rage.
I hope that woman is burning in hell.
Because they said he was forensic.
You could see over the sheet clearly it was his. It was him. It's really him.
The judge that let her out of jail and have custody of her daughter back deserves to be in jail herself.
She deserves to be in jail. 100%.
I don't know how I got out myself. That poor little baby.
Part 2. In July of 2003, Shirley met a man at a bar in downtown St. John's. He told her he didn't want to see her anymore. She then called and left over 200 messages on his phone, including one saying that she was pregnant, and she parked behind his house, left a used tampon and photos of the two of you on his property, completing her attempt to frame this man for what she was about to do. She then walked to the edge of a pier, and with you strapped to her stomach with a sweater, she jumped into the Atlantic Ocean.
Mommy loves you.
I feel so sick.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
The policeman who found him said that he had wrapped him in a blanket, and he made very sure that he kept the body very far away from the wicked woman who had murdered him.
These poor people.
When we came here,
God
David and I
damn it.
realized what Shirley Turner was. She was the devil.
I haven't prayed since Zachary died. I have some issues I have to deal with. My faith has been tested by this.
I've never seen a coffin so small before. I shouldn't have them that size.
Your grandma and grandpa went back to England and spread your ashes with your dad's.
He went from the funeral home to the crematorium all alone, in plastic bags, with only his head sticking out.
And this is what I hate her for. Stealing the rest of Andrew's life and virtually all of Zachary's life, and then this. I considered fixing the problem myself. Get up in the middle of the night, dream up a pretext, go kill Shirley and come back and go back to bed. Suppose we grab Zachary and run. Number one, we got to get off the island and into the land. Legal approaches we might have taken, invent something. Shirley slipped one night and we were around and said a threat of some kind.
That's what they should have done, in retrospect.
Sure. Yeah.
The best shot we had at keeping Zachary alive was I kill her myself.
There's a logic in it.
They had a preset.
Yeah.
My understanding is that proper protocols were followed. I have
No.
asked my
No.
officials did ask everything, all the proper protocols had been adhered to.
They figured we'd hold a press conference and try to push for changes in law. She says we can't hold a press conference. Technically, there's still a press ban.
What?
If they're going to lock me up for talking while the murderers walking around free, just
We believe that the legal system helped her to kill our grandson Zachary. When we learned that she was out on bail under an order from Justice David Russell, we were numb.
Judge Russell is sorry, but he won't be able to be interviewed in connection with that.
Yeah, I bet not.
Yeah.
A psychiatrist put up to 65, and that's another issue altogether.
Hi, you're afraid to Dr. Doucette's office.
Hi, I'm calling for Dr. Doucette.
My call was not returned.
Our lawyer, Jackie, went to see Betty Day, an administrator somewhere in the hierarchy of Child Protective Services.
Hi, I'm trying to reach Elizabeth Day.
Elizabeth Day is not available.
My call was not returned.
Kenny? Yes?
Yeah, this is Chief Justice Green. What I did is on the record and speak for itself.
Under an order from Justice Gail Welsh.
Yeah. This is the one I want to hear from.
Yep.
There is no indication of a psychological disorder that would give concern about potential harm to the public generally. 8 people had restraining orders against her.
Oh my God!
She was incredibly disruptive and even threatened to stab another inmate with a fork. There is no indication of a psychological disorder.
Oh my God.
So this judge was worthless.
Utterly.
Of course, the crime was specific. She didn't shoot into a crowd of people.
Dr. Turner's detention is not necessary in the public interest.
Who the hell is the system protecting?
Hi, may I speak to Judge Walsh, please?
Is she expecting your call?
Probably not, no.
Yeah.
I just spoke with Judge Walsh and she said no. She said no, so I just want to let you know.
She had to be stopped. The people who were supposed to stop her didn't.
Your grandma and grandpa became activists.
We victims.
We want, number one, why Zachary died.
They've developed a program support group for people who have had violent death.
Welcome to our first victim of homicide annual vigil.
John Doucette, the psychiatrist who was found guilty of professional misconduct.
It was David Bagby and his wife who launched the complaint against Doucette.
Yeah, why would the psychiatrist pay her bail?
Doesn't make any sense.
Which is a formal investigation, and the output of it is a report, recommendations for changes to cut the chance of that happening in the future.
Dr. Marcus Stein conducted an exhaustive investigation. Zachary Turner's death was preventable.
Very much so.
Zachary was in his mother's care when he should not have been. Serious lack of judgment, substandard child protection practices contributed to the outcome. Why was Dr. Shirley Turner granted judicial interim release, commonly known as bail?
Had Dr. Turner not been released on bail, my review would have been unnecessary. Zachary would be alive today.
But she left 3 other children without a mother, which is very sad for them.
A lot of years there now.
Tough losing a little brother.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. I wrote a book.
Yeah.
But there was still one question I couldn't answer. How would I know when I was done?
I appreciate you doing this part, because I know he talked about you a lot.
He'd talk about you.
Oh, well, then you're not a good movie maker, huh? That's what he always told me.
I know he loved you.
I didn't want to stop making this movie. That would mean I'd learned everything there was to know.
Grief is love's unwillingness to let go.
It's a fantastic line.
One more time. And action. The person says life will never be the same again, will it?
There were so many stories I wanted to tell you. I almost gave up making this film when you were killed. This film was no longer a letter to you. It was now a letter to someone.
You are the most amazing, the strongest people I've ever known.
Thanks for bringing such a wonderful person into the world.
You know, Andrew contributed a lot to me as far as who I am today.
I think God put some people down on earth just to be examples for the rest of us. You are 2 very, very special people.
And I think about them daily.
My thoughts are never far from either of you.
I love him, and as one of Andrew's very good friends told us very soon after he was murdered, we still had children.
Kate and David were a big reason why I am the person that I am today.
We're all their kids.
Yeah, you make me feel better.
I had my ear pierced for 2 weeks. They never noticed. Hello! And they decided to have a look at it. They're like, oh, that's nice. Hey!
And I know you love me, and I kind of need to move on from that because I'm a Bagby male. We don't gush very much.
Love Kurt. Jennifer E., you've just wrecked me.
You monster.
Yeah.
First off, the visceral stuff completely aside, and the emotional reaction to such a horrible series of events, some of which were very preventable. This was really good filmmaking.
Absolutely.
In terms of it, the documentary work was really, really well done. So kudos to Kurt. Yeah. For your film here. This was great.
I'm genuinely glad that I've seen this. Like, I think that,
oh my God,
I don't know if he's gone on to make other films or what he's been involved with, but you can really tell that if he's never made anything else, that this
labor of love here.
It's a labor of love. It's important, and I would think everybody should see this film just because it does spread an important message, and people deserve to know this story.
Yeah.
And so thank you. He's not gonna see this, but like, thank you for making this film. Sincerely.
I will say this. And I know this is after the fact, and it's easy to get caught up in the emotion of it all, but I am infuriated, not just with what happened, but with the absolute cowardice of everybody involved in the aftermath to not be able to stand up and say, you know what, I screwed up. You know what I mean? They can't even.
Not a shred of accountability.
They can't even face anybody.
Nope. Ignoring call. How are you not going to sit there?
I'm
and
just
going
to answer the phone. You guys, I don't have anything to say. I don't want to talk.
Welsh.
Yeah.
Welsh or Welsh.
Welsh. No, it was Welsh. She sucks.
If she's still practicing law, that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, this was 20 years ago that this happened, but 25 years ago, but still. That was utterly incomplete. Like, I get that there are laws that say you have to grant bail and blah, 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 but I feel like that there are ways that she could. The idea of just releasing her and her and the justification being like, well, she killed the only person she wanted to kill, so now she's fine. Just let her out is insane to me. Like, I think the American justice system is largely screwed up in a lot of ways.
It's not perfect,
but in the United States, they don't let murderers out on bail. Murderers are almost always on first-degree murder denied bail because you're a flight risk and because you've proven you're dangerous.
When they said she's done a harm to society, I'm like, she murdered somebody.
Yeah. And of course she proved she rose to the occasion and proved them all wrong.
And then like when they showed that she had 8 people that had restraining orders against her, how did that not play? How did they not consider that? Like, are you serious?
Yep.
And when she was in jail, she like threatened to stab somebody?
Well, it sounds like the prosecutor was lazy and didn't even bring that up, because the prosecutor was one of the people that was like okay with the bail release, because any prosecutor worth a nickel would have said, let's take a look at these 8 restraining orders right now, or these criminal complaints of threats or threatening self-harm. She's not okay to have a kid and be out.
And look, we love Canada.
We do.
We love Canada, but this is a bad look.
It was a bad look. Yeah.
It was a bad look for Canada.
Granted, it was 20-something years ago, and with the activism, I'm hoping after that report.
Yeah, I need to read more about it.
Right. Because I mean the documentary had a drop dead date, right? A publication date.
Sure.
Did the laws end up changing down the road? Did any of this work? Or is there at least a wiggle room of common sense for somebody to say, this woman murdered her husband? We know she did. Like, there's an extradition request,
or boyfriend,
boyfriend. Sorry,
not even a boyfriend,
right? Or ex-boyfriend or whatever. Is there any way that we can just say, no, on common sense grounds, no, you can't be released and have access to your child?
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like a no-brainer to me.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you, dude.
So this was infuriating.
It was infuriating.
It
was a real roller coaster though of emotions, because it was infuriating. It was deeply sad, but there was moments in the film where you're just joyful.
Yeah, there were celebrations of the guy's life and the grandparents' lives
and the baby's life,
friends and the babies. There were beautiful moments, but obviously the tragedy. Here's what really got me. What I expected, because the judicial system was doing so poorly, I was gearing myself up emotionally for her to just be let out, denied extradition, and get the kid back and live happily ever after.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I didn't see the child passing.
The fact that she went killer, decided to go the killer route instead, was so much more upsetting, and I didn't expect it. Maybe I'm as dumb as that judge for not expecting it, but I wouldn't have let her out of jail.
It's just. It is good filmmaking in that way,
yeah,
right?
It is.
The whole. I mean, it is a letter to
so
Zachary.
Infuriating.
I am too. It is a letter to Zachary, but like the way the film was presented, you think that like, okay, I really. Maybe should he go rogue, and like the kid is still out there, so like this film was made so we can see it, and I was like, okay, well at least he has that, and then that twist comes, and I'm like, God.
Well, the fact that it was called Dear Zachary, I thought what was going to happen was the kid was going to be with the mom, and she was out and free and living her best life.
Yeah,
and this is like, okay, maybe someday he'll see this documentary
and he'll get to know who his dad was.
and realize who his dad was and who his mom is.
Yeah,
and I'm like, nope, didn't even get that chance.
No, and it's.
Oh my God!
It's infuriating, man. It really is infuriating. It's deeply sad. His parents are freaking incredible.
Yeah, no, they are.
They're amazing people,
and I'm so glad they have such a great support system around them.
All those people in their lives are so they're incredible too. And we don't know these people, but like I genuinely feel like you can really feel their energy.
Yeah,
and it's infectious. it's very infectious, and I'm glad to have spent an hour and a half with these people.
Yeah, and like always in these situations, these horror stories, I love that something positive came out of it. That they became activists. That they found a reason to go on and a cause to go on for. To channel that their tragedy, into something positive, which is all you can ask. And something horrible like this happens. Like, what else can you do besides wither and die, or try to channel it into something else? And that's what they did.
That's their spirit.
And my God, good for them and everyone around them who helped.
And I really appreciate the fact that this was not some schlocky, crappy Netflix true crime thing.
Yeah, right.
I find those things to be so morbid sometimes.
Yeah, I do too.
The fact that this came from a place of love.
Yeah.
Totally appropriate. And
the American fascination with the celebration of the serial killer is something I don't identify with. Yeah,
it's fascinating to an extent, but it's also deeply tragic and really sick.
Yeah, no, it is. It's There's a morbid fascination with it that I don't understand or relate to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch a mini series about Jeffrey Dahmer, because he was just a monster.
I like the film Zodiac, but it's a procedural. Right.
I watched Mindhunter. It was about
it's a procedural.
About the establishment of the psychological crimes unit in the FBI.
Yeah.
Psychological profiling. But yeah, this was tonally, and I mean, this is expert filmmaking. Just Kurt.
It was.
I can't say enough about the job Kurt did. I'm sorry, I don't know your last name.
They
just kept calling him Kurt in the movie.
Yeah.
But the job that he did in telling this story in such an appropriate way that gave you the beauty of the lives of these two people, and the entire scope of what went wrong in the aftermath, and the tonal shifts through it that really carried. Like, I was incredibly invested early on.
Yeah, me too.
In this, and that's
straight out the gate.
And that right there, I feel like is the mark of great documentary work. Are you going to jump in on a topic you don't know anything about, and are you going to be immediately invested? And I was.
A minute into it.
Yeah,
1 minute into this film, we were just like,
This was masterful.
It really was
really freaking sad.
And I'm really glad that he took his time with it. And
yeah.
I will be reading about this.
Yeah,
I might even buy the book.
I have so many questions about the follow-up to this. Since 2007, I take it as when he kind of wrapped everything. What if anything has happened since then?
Yeah. And if he does have any more works, I do want to watch.
He is a good filmmaker.
Really is.
Thank you so much, guys. We will catch you on the next one. We're going to take a refresher break before we start The Wire or Veep. God, we're going into Veep. I need that. Veep, yeah. I need Veep right now. Yeah.